Hi, my name is Amy Miller, and I'm currently a doctoral student at the University of Phoenix. My concentration is in management and leadership. I worked as a counselor for the Women's Drug Court program alongside our local police department, and I have a great respect for our men and women in blue. Before choosing a topic for my dissertation, I discovered that there was an increase in local media coverage regarding officers from our local police department whose adverse behaviors were gaining a lot of negative attention, igniting a concern and a desire to conduct an investigative study. The study will identify if there's an association between law enforcement leaders' leadership style and an officer's satisfaction on the job. I'm here today to speak with all of you leaders from the department to explain the importance and reasoning behind my investigation. In today's society, more than ever, policing has become an even higher risk profession. Evidence suggests that there's an increase in law enforcement officers who have a disincentive to stay or excel within a police department. Events regarding officer safety, officer corruption, officer stigma, and a decline in community support may confirm reasons why leaders in policing are struggling to ensure officer job satisfaction. An officer's behavior in and out of the field not only reflects the integrity of the agency, but also how the officers perceive the integrity of the agency's leaders. Leaders in policing have a duty to motivate officers to ensure job satisfaction, which in turn improves officer performance, safety, and agency productivity. Leaders play a critical role in follower behavior. And as you all know, there's a number of roles in law enforcement, from the chief of police all the way down to sergeant, and each position moving up through a hierarchy of levels. The lowest level of policing and non-managerial position is a police officer. These lower-ranking officers may not have leadership authority, but they are the key to the agency's success. Lower-ranking officers implement the upper management strategies in the field, taking high risks every day on every call to protect our community. Whether leaders in policing are providing moral support to these officers, praising and motivating the officers with incentives and rewards, or influencing intolerable behavior, the leader's leadership style does have an impact on follower behavior. The problem driving the research is based on the rising social phenomenon of law enforcement officers who are dissatisfied on the job. More specifically, the problem relates to lower-ranking officers whose perception of current leaders' leadership styles may have a direct impact on the officer's job dissatisfaction, potentially ignited by the current leader's objectionable leadership approaches and behaviors. The importance of conducting the current investigation is to obtain vital information that could potentially help leaders who are in stressful, high-risk professions, such as law enforcement, to identify positive leadership behaviors that can be modeled by subordinates to increase subordinate job satisfaction. The question the investigation is seeking to answer is which of the leadership styles best motivates officer job satisfaction. There are a number of different leadership styles that contain specific characteristics linked to motivation and subordinate job satisfaction, but this investigation specifically examines transformational, transactional, and laissez-faire leadership styles to determine which of the three best motivates officer job satisfaction. Signs that could indicate if a leader's leadership style is not motivating his or her subordinates could be identified in the officer's adverse actions and behaviors in the field, such as officer corruption, community and media complaints of negative encounters with officers who have more aggressive tactics than the department standards allow, or just personal conversations with officers who express a dislike for their job or their supervisor, and all stemming from one police department. In the investigation, surveys are administered to the lower-ranking officers whose perceptions of his or her leader's leadership style may indicate a link between the leadership style and job satisfaction. In an attempt to identify and evaluate which of the leadership styles is perceived to be the most useful for affecting job satisfaction, conducting a quantitative linear regression study is the most appropriate methodology for the investigation. Using the linear regression design, I can identify if any relationships exist between more than one independent variable and the dependent variable, using a deductive method, implementing closed-ended questionnaires. The surveys are administered to the sample population of low-ranking officers within the Illinois Police Department. The surveys are based on questions that contain specific characteristics of transformation, transactional, and laissez-faire leadership styles, which reflect the officer's perceptions of which leadership style he or she believes best motivates his or her job satisfaction. According to Fontberry, addressing motivation in policing can help supervisors and law enforcement increase the agency's productivity through stimulation of individual motivation. And due to the high risks and stresses associated with this profession, motivation is a critical factor in promoting officer job satisfaction. In researching this topic, I have found that my critical thinking skills have improved, as well as my attention to detail, decision making, analysis of data, and my ability to evaluate complex problems. I have also developed better communication skills and the ability to receive and implement constructive feedback effectively. I hope that with my outcome of the investigation, I can share with all of you the leadership style that will best motivate your lower ranking officers to enjoy coming to work every day, creating a more productive and a safer environment for all of us. Thank you.